Shalom. It was placed on my heart to give a little word of encouragement to my single sisters. Now, I know whether a person is single and married, they're all going to face challenges in life, but as a single person, a single sister, face a unique set of challenges in life. So today, I just want to give a word of encouragement to them. Now, whether you're single, whether you're married, feel free to listen in to this video because it could be something that we all can get from it. And the first thing I like to establish, first and foremost, that it's only natural to desire companionship. It's only natural to be married. It's only natural to be in a relationship. Because after all, when you read Genesis, the beginning of Genesis, Yah created a helpmate. He created a companion for Adam because he said it's not good that man is alone. So yes, it's only natural to desire a companion. But when you're single, that does not mean that you're half living. That does not mean that you're living an unfulfilling life because you're alone. Some may think that, oh, I can't live a fulfilling life because I don't have a husband. And I'm here to say that no, that's not true. You can live a very fulfilling life as a single person. And also too, and just because you're single, that doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. Some may be saying that you're too picky or you're setting your standards too high, and that doesn't mean that can't be true in some cases. The thing is to check yourself, to make sure you're not being too picky and to make sure that you're not setting your standards too high. And another thing too could be the reason why a lot of sisters are single is because there's a serious shortage of Hebrew or quote unquote black men. There's a serious black male shortage due to early deaths such as murder and even incarceration. Because the other day I was watching a video where a brother he visited prisons and he said he's met some fine talented brothers in prison. And so it could be a case where man that could have been our husband is actually incarcerated. So we have to consider that too. We're not just losing our brothers to murder, we're also losing them to the prison system. And so that's something else that we have to consider. And also too, you may see a married woman maybe on Facebook celebrating her relationship, or a woman celebrating her marriage. A woman celebrating her relationship. She could be engaged and she's just celebrating on Facebook. And you may get all wistful and think that, well, was it because that maybe y'all loves her more than me, or he saw her as more worthy of a husband and of a mate, and I did something wrong, that's why I don't have anything. No, that doesn't mean that, oh, she did something wrong whereas you didn't. And nobody should think that. Nobody should think that. And a lot of times it has nothing to do with marriage. It has nothing to do with, oh, well, she did something, so Yah's rewarding her with a husband because she did something right. And I know some may think, some may say, well, what about Proverbs 18:22, where it says, whoso findeth a wife findeth good and has obtained favor from Yah. But the key word, and even though that's talking about the man, that can also apply to the woman. The key word is favor. When you're attaining favor from Yah, that doesn't necessarily mean that you did something to earn that favor. It's not always based on merit. Merit, MERIT, merit. And now I understand that sometimes there are things that we can do that impact how our life turns out. I understand that. But it's not always, the case where you did something in order to deserve this or not deserve that. The bottom line is it's just sometimes a hand that life deals you. For instance, you have a child that was born into a good home with two wonderful, loving parents. And most will say that child is blessed. The Most High has blessed that child. But then you may have this other child that was not so fortunate, that was born into, a bad home where the parents are abusive, or born to a single mother that's addicted to drugs and whatnot. So would you say that child who was not born in a good home did something bad, and the child that was born into a good home did something good. No. No, the bottom line is just the hand you get dealt. And sometimes life deals you a good hand, and sometimes it deals you a bad hand. And that's just the bottom line in a lot of cases. And also too, don't let family and friends and relatives pressure you to marry. You may be at a gathering and people ask, "Oh, you married? Why aren't you married yet?" And if you're listening to this and you're one who does that, please stop. Don't pressure somebody to marry. Because oftentimes, you get into a marriage that you shouldn't have gotten into in the first place, and you suffer the consequences. You emerge from those marriages damaged and hurt. Like you may be at a gathering, at a fellowship, and you see, a lot of sisters and brothers married, and you meet a brother, and y'all, of course, you're in the same walk, you share the same spiritual views. You think, okay, well, yeah, well, we can marry. And sometimes you end up heartbroken and you end up disappointed. You have to also find out whether or not you're compatible. And the thing is, don't be pressured into a marriage. Because that can be a terrible thing to get into a marriage, and you regret getting into that marriage. And the thing is, just find out what your purpose is in life. There could be a certain period in your life where you're better off single, because when you're married, you have all kinds of distractions. There could be a mission that y'all have for you to carry out, and especially if you're childless, there's a mission that y'all has for you to carry out, and having a husband and children may be a distraction, as it says in 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verses 34 through 35. There is a difference also between a wife and a virgin. The unmarried woman careth for the things of Yah, that she may be holy or set apart, both in body and in spirit. But she that is married careth for the things of the world, and how she may please her husband. And this I speak for your own profit, not that I may cast a snare upon you, but for that which is comely, and that ye may attend upon the Most High without distraction. So Shaul or Paul, was telling us, the difference between a wife and a virgin. Yes, a wife can do the things, the things of the Most High. Of course, I've seen many, married women do much work for the Most High, but she's going to be distracted by things, how to please her husband, and even also with children. Whereas the virgin, the unmarried woman, she has more time to pray, she has more time to study, and she has more time to meditate. So Shaul was just, talking about the differences. Because, if you have too many distractions in life, it could be a, important work that y'all have for you to do. It may go undone because you're burdened down by too many distractions. So you just have to find out, the purpose, your purpose in life, what Yah wants you to do. And this reminds me of the old classical movie, one of my favorite classic movies that I like to watch, called The Sound of Music. Some of you could have seen that movie before. Where in there, the Reverend Mother, she's like the head over the nuns. Now I know there are Catholics and all of that, but the message that she gave is still true nonetheless. Where she is advising Maria. Maria is the main character in the movie, and she's studying to be a nun, but she hasn't yet taken her vows yet. And she's working as a governess for this wealthy captain. And she ends up falling in love with the captain. But since she's studying to be a nun, and as we know, nuns are not to marry, so she feels guilty. And then she goes back to the convent. And the Reverend Mother tells her that, we have to live the life that we were born to live. We have to find out how we were meant to spend our love. So that takes me back to, our purpose. We may want to do this, we may want to do that, but we have to find out, what we were born for, what Yah want for us to do, what his purpose is for us. So I just thought, that was a good point, in that movie. And also, too, we have to be content in whatever state we're in, as it says in Philippians 4:11. That doesn't mean that you don't try to better yourself. You may be in a bad situation and you don't want to better yourself. No. That just means whatever your state you're in, be in peace and be in shalom. Don't fret and don't fuss and carry on because things are not the way you want them to be. And many believe that a woman's primary purpose is to marry and have children and submit to her husband. And let me say this, there's nothing at all wrong with that. Nothing all wrong with the, being married, having children, and submitting to your husband. Not at all. But the thing is, women are meant for much more than that. The scripture shows that, women prophesy and women carry out missions. So we need to establish that women is meant more than just to have children, marry, have children, and all of that. And also, too, it's been found out, since I'm on this, it's been found out that women played a more prominent role in the early churches than what we've been told. And it's also being shown that Paul's writings have been tampered with to subjugate women. Because actually women had leadership roles in the early churches, such as, deaconship roles and things like that. Because some scriptures call, women actually call them deacons, but it's been changed in other translations. But that's another topic for another day. But, as it says in Joel and Acts, that your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. So I just wanted to, throw that in, that yes, women are meant for much more than, being married and having children and all of that. And you have some say that, oh, well, a marriage will complete me and make me whole and make me happy. No, no, no. You should enter a marriage already whole and already happy, because happiness comes from within. You don't marry just to become happy. No, you should already be happy. Because if you are whole, you enter into a marriage whole. Because you are whole, you have more to give. And the more that you can give to your marriage, the more that you can give to your spouse, that will ensure the success of your marriage. And also that means the more you can do for Yah as a couple, as a married woman, you and your husband, y'all may have a work to do. If you're whole, you have more to give. And that means you also have more to give to Yah. So it's important that you enter into your marriage, whole. Don't think, oh, the marriage is going to complete me. No, no. You should, while you're single, work on building your character and establishing a relationship with Yah. And that will ensure a successful marriage. So the bottom line is to seek Yah to know your purpose. Know the purpose that you're to carry out in life. And that will ensure, when Yah sees fit for you to marry, that will ensure a successful marriage. So I pray that this word was encouraging for all who hears it. And I bid you farewell and shalom.